Hello, welcome to Native Yoga Center. My name is Todd McLaughlin, and today I wanted to create a video for you on how to practice yoga when you're in pain. Um, you know, this is something that is extremely common for all of us. And so yoga is still possible even when the body isn't feeling so great. When we're not feeling 100%. It is very common to have a couple of questions that will pop up in the mind, like, should I practice? Should I do an asana practice today? Should I practice moving my body, or should I take some rest? And so, what I want to highlight is that recently, in over this last week, I had a major back spasm that caused me to have to just lay flat for a little bit and give my body some time to recover. And so I just want to highlight that even if we've been practicing yoga, if we're just getting started and we're new to yoga practice, and or it's quite possible that we've been at it for many years, that many practitioners experience pain, injury, or just low energy. So this is extremely common. So I believe there's a myth in the yoga community that if we just practice yoga every day, we will be able to avoid all pain and suffering. And I think that one thing that we can do is approach this myth a little differently and look at it from the angle of it is very normal, and we don't need to take it so personal when we feel discomfort and pain in the body, and that yoga is a good way to be able to manage these challenges. And so what we have to do, though, is be a little more creative in the way that we approach. Um, Sometimes we think yoga equals, or actually yoga is more than just postures. Sometimes we might think that my yoga practice is my asana practice, my posture practice is my yoga practice, and it's a reflection of me as an individual. And actually, yoga is breath, it's awareness, it is focus, and it is philosophy. So when we have days where our physical body or mental, emotional body is extremely challenged, it can be really helpful to shift our focus to things like breath, like just a simple breath practice. Our awareness and what we put our attention on. This also has a dramatic effect on our well-being. And being able to maintain focus when we're undergoing these challenges is critical. And so it takes a very acute awareness of what the mind is doing as we're going through these difficult times. There's a Yoga Sutra in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras in chapter 1, verse 2, that is yoga is the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind, or yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So one of the ideas is that if we shift our awareness of what yoga is from our performance in posture, and if we are feeling discomfort, challenge, or pain in the body, if we can become aware of the mind and what type of fluctuations are happening, then if we can come to peace with those fluctuations or calm the fluctuations, this can have a profound effect on the whole entire experience. So it's important from a philosophical perspective to keep our approach on realizing that the mind plays a huge part in the success of our yoga practice. Even without movement, yoga is available. So this is another thing that a lot of the times we'll feel like, if I am unable to do a yoga practice today because of the challenge that I'm undergoing physically, that yoga we can practice it even without movement. So this is a big shift in our understanding of what yoga is and what yoga can be. Pain is the body's signal to slow down. When I first approached some of the more intense yoga styles, some of the rhetoric that was popular at that time was that push through the pain. If you feel pain, it's the body needing to be opened more. So go into these really deep asanas and push through that barrier. And I propose that it is very important to actually listen to the pain signals in the body. And that can be just making subtle alignment shifts, like from an anatomical perspective, learning how to make anatomical shifts, make alignment, changing the alignment of our positions can affect the sensations we feel, but also if we do need a day where we don't do an asana practice, that might actually be an approach that can be very effective. So rest is a part of the practice. A lot of times we'll think like, hey, I'm going to go into my yoga practice. I'm going to be doing this physical exertive experience. And what's I think important to understand is that it is taking rest and actually bringing the nervous system into a state of improved calm and relaxation is a critical part. Sometimes we'll hear that yoga is like a bird with two wings, and the one wing is effort and the other wing is ease. And you need both wings to fly. So yoga is equal parts effort and equal parts ease. And so I think this plays a really important factor as well in managing some of these challenges. And so over pushing leads to setbacks. I mean, one of the really interesting challenges in yoga is wondering, how far should I push today? How deep should I take my body? How gentle should I approach an asana or a yoga posture? Or how far should I push into it? Sometimes when we take the approach of pushing really, really hard, actually pushes us into a state of maybe spasm or challenge that means it'll take us longer to recover. So there is an incredible finesse that is critical to embrace in the yoga practice, and learning to take rest. And I'm trying to learn this one myself every day, learning how to balance the effort with the ease and to not over push is a really important thing to bring into our awareness. Alternative practices such as gentle breath work can be a really good solution. So even if you're lying down, sitting, whatever position you are able to take, to be able to shift into awareness of breath and to slow the breathing down and to become aware of the breath can have a profound effect on our ability to shift the focus. Because what I think becomes very apparent in yoga practice is how powerful the mind is. And we often hear too, like this mind body connection. Well, it is connected, and it's strange that it's even been separated at some point. But the reality is that if we can get our mind to accept and be present to the reality of what we're facing, that this can happen much easier through breath or gentle breath work. And this can be a critical piece in being able to keep our mind focused on the fact that we can heal. Visualization. So this is a really interesting one. Imagine moving through poses. And I like to use this one quite a bit when I'm having, sometimes I'll have trepidation or fear about how far should I move? If I have already recovered, imagine, you've taken some time off, your body's recovered, and now you're getting back onto your mat. And sometimes there's a little bit of apprehension as to, if I push too hard, will it take me right back to where I was in my discomfort pattern? And so using visualization exercises and imagining moving through certain yoga poses in our mind can actually help overcome some of that hesitation or reservation that we might feel. Mantra and or meditation is highly important. In relation to mantra, whatever your inclination is, whether it's to pick one that's in the language that you're accustomed to, English, picking a positive affirmation, I am healing, this too shall pass, whatever your mantra is. If you have a specific Sanskrit mantra that you like to use, I don't think it really matters. I think the main thing is picking something that is personal and we can connect with, I can connect with, you can connect with. And meditation is huge. Meditation is a huge part of it. And all of this is integrated. I mean, when we say mind body connection, the world of asana, breath work, meditation, pranayama, breath work, visualization is all really the same thing in essence. We can break it into separate parts, but all of these tools can really help to make a difference. Journaling is enormous. I really enjoy journaling. I highly recommend journaling. Wake up every day, write down a few positive affirmations, even when we are at our lowest. Whenever you are at your lowest point, when you feel like I have nothing great that I'm grateful for, that is when it's most important to actually sit down and write down a few things that you are appreciative of. And another big one, to reframe the mental image that this is a different kind of practice today. This also is a really important aspect because we want to sometimes practice exactly the same way that we did the last time we got on the mat. We think our practice needs to be exactly the same as the last time we did it. Uh, and this is just something that we do. And so reframing and understanding that what I'm going to do right now is going to be completely unique. It's going to have a new flavor, texture, characteristic that I've never experienced before, and open this door to this potential, I think is a really important aspect. And the practice of compassion and not criticism is also a really important element of healing. This is self-reflection, this ability to bring our attention onto what we're going through and be compassionate toward ourselves. And this is a really deep practice. This is really important. And to be aware of, am I being compassionate toward myself or am I being critical? Is just really a key component for healing. And so, like a short guided breath routine. Let's practice one together. Go ahead and exhale all your air. Take a nice deep, slow inhale through your nose. And then go ahead and exhale out through your nose very slowly. And then right away after one breath, try to observe what sort of shift or change that had. And a reminder, yoga is always available. So whether we're thinking that we are, I don't have time for my practice today, or I don't think that I can get on a yoga mat today, in whatever situation we find ourselves in, whether it's laying on a bed or on an ice pack or a heat pack, or maybe you actually find yourself in a situation like laying in a hospital bed, or perhaps you're just sitting at work having a stressful moment. Um, to remember that yoga is always available, not necessarily when we get off of work and have time to go to class, or when I get that moment to now, later I'm going to get to my yoga practice, to remember it's actually available right here and right now is a really important aspect. And I just want to invite you to share any comments that you have about how you adapt your practice through your healing journey. I'd love to hear. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions or comments, remember you can reach to us here on the platform that you're viewing this, and or send us an email, info@nativeyogacenter.com. And thank you so much for joining, and I hope this helps. Have a great day. Namaste.